Conservative activists are set to gather just outside of Washington, D.C. for the annual Conservative Political Action Conference. Former President Trump and his supporters have dominated the gathering in recent years, and this year, much of the conversation at the conference is set to be around Trump's presidential bid. Here are 5 things to watch ahead of the Conservative Political Action Conference, also known as CPAC.
Number 1, what does Trump say? Trump is likely to talk about the South Carolina primary, which is set to take place the same day as he attends CPAC. The former president could take some jabs at his rival Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, have you ever heard of her? You don't hear her name too much anymore.
And if his recent appearances are any indication, Trump will likely talk about his legal issues, including the civil fraud case, where a New York judge ordered him to pay nearly $355 million in penalties.
The decision yesterday in New York, you may have read about it. Crooked judge, crooked judge. He's a crooked judge.
Number 2, does Trump address the abortion debate? It's unclear whether Trump will address abortion, which has proven to be a losing issue for Republicans in recent elections. The former president has avoided saying whether he would support a national abortion ban if elected president, but has taken credit for his role in appointing conservative justices that has led to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Number 3, who wins the CPAC vice presidential straw poll? Trump's Veep stakes appear to be in full swing outside of CPAC, but CPAC attendees will get a chance to voice their preferences in the group's annual straw poll. Potential contenders include South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, and New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. CPAC straw polls are seen as a reflection of where the conservative activist base is, and it's likely that Trump and his team will be watching who comes out in the running mate straw poll this year. Number 4, how is Ukraine addressed? The Republican divide over Ukraine has been on display in recent weeks, with many Republicans coming out against the foreign aid package in the Senate that included funds for Ukraine. Much of the conservative activist base, influenced by Trump, has taken an American-first approach to foreign policy. This approach will likely be on display at CPAC this week, particularly in the context of U.S. support for Ukraine. Number 5, do Republican moderates attend? CPAC used to be considered a big tent event for the Republican Party, with conservatives of all stripes convening for the annual gathering. However, CPAC has been considered a pro-Trump gathering ever since he burst onto the political scene. Most speakers tend to be pro-Trump and tout his America First platform, while his critics have been largely unwelcome in the space. Last year, Nikki Haley was heckled and booed during her address to the conference, while Trump allies like Arizona Senate candidate Kari Lake received a warm welcome. And this year is on track to be even more Trump-centric.